Here we go.
Leadership in this caucus, and sometimes we have a tendency to use terms, but people don't.
Bada boom, bada bing.
This is the chair of the caucus, and the minority meaning Republican leader, and the Republican leader in this case is Nick Kipke, the state delegate from Anne Arundel County. The whip in this case is Shalaga. The same district as Rick, the 7th district, which I represented for 16 years, which is Harford and Baltimore County. These two, and I know, why would they block an important resolution like this motion to reaffirm our commitment as Republicans? Why would they stand not Delegate Cox? This idea, I'm glad you came up with it unanimously on this proposal. What happened?
And I agree with you. And why that attitude was taken to do everything in their power. Why no one else in the caucus spoke up. But, you know, it's almost like Stockholm, where the caucus has been so used to getting beat up by Larry Hogan that they're afraid to speak up. Western Maryland getting the shaft for the fracking, or the Trump supporters, or the people who support the gun rights. It's the caucus has just have that Stockholm syndrome that they refuse to speak up, and it's all this person who's outwardly said, "I am not a Republican." Other that the two went to Dan Cox's office, closed the door, closed him in the office, out beating him, telling him not to bring. There would be retributions if he did it. For the guy who works across the street from me in the governor's mansion, the guy who's upstairs gave us all life, and I'm gonna protect life. I'm not gonna turn my back on the children or on the unborn children.
Well, so you're saying basically, Shalaga and Kipke are playing politics with this very important issue, and they are trying to protect the governor. Now, the governor is basically pro-life. Let's be fair about it. But they're playing politics too. He's saying it should not be an issue. It's the most important issue in the world. It's about life. And well, as elected representatives, you're supposed to either support life or you don't. And he is playing politics game, sending out the wrong message. Our pro-life
Politics and games.
The
that ain't good. That ain't thinking good.
Shalaga, and they're throwing a roadblock.
I'm sorry, but I can't turn around and tell I believe in pro-life, but I can't.
Yeah, Joe Biden is a Catholic, right? Abortion.
And I'm sick of hearing Catholics out of both sides. You know, nowhere say pro-life, but it's okay to kill babies. It doesn't say that in the Bible.
Well, here's the other part. You're saying essentially here, this didn't get missed by our, that in this instance, Dan Cox, who we've had on this program, he's an attorney, brilliant guy. He's a patriot. He is a
yes, he is,
and he is a super patriot. And I will tell you, you're that these two visit his office, just like the Democrats, their underlings, and told him and gave him threats that he was off the plantation.
That's correct. 100% correct.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, there are people listening.
I'm dying. Are you? I'm dying. Are you dying?
And a lot of Republicans listen to this program.
Millions.
And they're listening, and I find it hard to believe this story.
Well, and here's the thing, Pat. Like you say, oh my God, this is just one incident.
Hard to believe this.
What about that red flag for gun rights? Anybody could just say, "Look at McDonald. He's a radical. he can't own a gun. Go get his guns away from him. That's what the red flag bill said. Voted against that. Leave the Republicans call Second Amendment to vote for that.
For Betsy
This is
Bootsy.
This is a pattern of behavior.
At least one was killed because of that.
She's got
That's
her
correct.
snowman sweater.
That's correct.
Oh, I'm talking about you, yes.
Go ahead. Ed Hale has a question for you.
Delegate, I wanted
Okay,
just to,
that's it. I know.
you can shed some light,
She's
give us
like
an update on
Okay,
the
she's like that.
800-pound gorilla in the room, also known as Kerwin.
Well, Kerwin, they're going to, number one, they're going to bring Kerwin back, and it's going to get overridden. It's going to become law. They got another 20, 30 bills that they're going to tax Kerwin. So Kerwin on steroids before we leave session.
So it's going to be more than $3.5 billion a year?
Yes. So teachers will be able to tax at home and not work. The governor refuses to sign an executive order demanding that they go back and start teaching and reopen their schools, and the school boards are counting to order them to go back to school. If you remember, Ronald Reagan said, "You guys don't get back in those towers at those airplanes.
Wow.
Start getting those airplanes. You're all fired," and that's what he did.
Yeah, well, the case people don't know, the Kerwin is the bill that creates a whole new education system in Maryland, totally funded for teachers, and misleading and creating all kinds of lies, inculcating and brainwashing our students.
Critical race theory.
Things like that. And that's coming through. The governor voted to his credit, but and have a Christmas tree effect. They're going to put all kind of gifts on it to make it even worse. So we will have Delegate Impalaria on frequently to bring us the truth. This is the truth.
Yes, it is. And look, that's all not politically correct. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. I'm not going to lie to you. And the people deserve to know what's going to go on in an this year. And Pat, as you remember, when we first got the story was you went back and you told everything was wonderful. Well, you and I got in. We started telling them the truth.
The Republican Party at that time was surprised.
And Rick, do you remember the issue that Pat ran?
He ran on a lot of issues.
No, but the one was really important, and we saw it come back within under the amount. No. Yeah, it's now. Well, it's passed. Sales tax on services and raising the sales tax.
That was a big issue in 2002.
Raise the alcohol tax.
Alcohol tax, and I'm keep an eye on that gas tax. That looks like a snake.
It rises automatically too.
Oh, that's right. They already passed that. On that. Well, Rick, we thank you very much. Personally, we don't like you, but the fact that you tell the truth is very important.
Yeah, and you have a great panel. Ed Hale and Dee are two top notch.
What about Valerie McDonough?
I'll come.
You better recover from this one real quick. There,
Yeah, Rick. Oh, well, you know me, Rick. Even.
Well, first off, Val is absolutely attractive and owning the perfect face for TV. She is a beautiful woman, and I don't know how, but
Well, you just saved yourself.
Added a year to the school system on top of what is already $40.
Yeah. Now, how about this? How much is that per person in the state of Maryland? You know how
$640. Man, woman, and child.
Yeah, but you that by every household, that number.
it's 2,200.
Thank you, Delegate.
So that was Delegate Impalaria, and that was great.
20 per year.
Yeah.
That's almost $200 a month more for
And the public schools aren't even open.
correct.
Teachers are getting paid.
WCBM, the Pat
Yep.
McDonough show.
Administrators are getting paid. That's the one I like. And the fact, I think it was a wonderful gesture by the governor when he did that, because he is a very wealthy person. I don't. He did that on his own. Thank God for him. The governor said that he is going to get his salary and do COVID-needed organizations around the state.
Yeah, let him give it all.
No, Valerie, he's not giving any of it. I'm lying.
But I just wanted to go and say,
I'm just trying to
you know,
encourage him.
don't, you know, if he's going to give something, make sure he gives it all. President.
Thank you. You're right. The
That's
president did. Yeah. So Larry
He
doesn't.
gave
And
away
see, I-
$1.6 million
See what's going
over
on.
his 4
See
years.
what's going on.
His
Yeah,
salary.
and that all went to the.
Different stuff.
No, he
No, I'm only kidding.
No,
Yeah.
The poor
That's
boys!
what CNN would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they lie occasionally. Anyway, we need to take a break. We'll be right back.
Man, Grand Funk Railroad.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. If you owe $10,000 today, call
Shut up! We're gonna come back with the Time Warp. Rocky Horror Picture Show. By the way, men are calling for big snow coming up, so you better watch that, alright? And when your dog goes to the bathroom, and you lose your dog, look for the little hole, little brown holes, where they go, and then you'll find them. It's horrible. Betsy Boots? Betsy Boots is okay, because she's waiting for, no, she loves the snow, and, but she had a rough day. We were running around and doing crazy things. She's got her little, she's got her snowman sweater, and she's got the red scarf of the Savage Mode. That was the Betsy Bootsy moment. Thank you so much for joining. And now we're gonna go back to Pat real soon. Oh, this next commercial, listen. It's TakeMeFishing.org. It promotes to get a fishing license. But this chick, she's gotta be from Baltimore. She goes, I build boat ramps, and these ramps are for the angler people to fish off of the boat ramps. Huh. Watch. You think I'm joking? Watch. Oh, we got 20 seconds of this commercial, and I'll put this up on purpose because you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Here, watch. Listen. She said, remember, boat ramps. WAMPS. Boat ramps. Bada boom. Watch. Watch. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen. All right, let's go.
I fish. I also clean local waterways so others can fish and swim. I help build public ramps for easy access to the water. I provide fishing and water safety education for kids.
I told you, man.
Help you fish
I build boat ramps. Do you build boat? WAMPS. Do you build boat ramps?
Unwanted species from spreading into waters where they don't belong. I restore the
Oh, really? Yeah,
conditions
you
of
have to.
rivers
I
to
really a
make
lot of
fish
fun
and
here. Really,
wildlife
really.
thrive.
Yeah, Mike Dance.
I fund long
Woo!
to protect our lakes and streams. I do all of these things and more, all because I buy a fishing license.
He buys a fishing license, but does she build boat ramps for Mike Damsel?
In fact,
Would
every
you
dollar
build a
from
boat
license
ramp for
purchase
Mike? I
protects
would.
And maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. To learn more about how you can get your fishing license, go to TakeMeFishing.org. That's TakeMeFishing.
Listen to this coast to coast bump, man. It's really
There's a
long.
whole lot of shaking going on in Antarctica.
The mysteries of the night
Antarctica is going to be
come alive.
the most revolutionary and revealing area on the planet.
I can't take it.
Coast to coast AM.
The first Secretary of Defense was murdered, James Forrestal, thrown out of the fence, the third floor of the hospital, when he wanted to come
My
forth.
God!
What was really
Time War, baby.
What's really going on?
1 to 5. Talk Radio 680. WCDM.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio.
radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to not only the...
Let's do the time hop again.
Ron,
Yes.
Ron, I'm getting an echo here. What is that all about?
Do it again.
Anyway, we're good. We're good again. There's the echo. We're good again. Anyway,
It's in between your...
I don't know what it is, but it sounds like I'm in an echo chamber, but that's okay.
No, you're on.
Anyway, not
on, baby.
only the most informative show on radio on the weekends, not only the most
Always.
popular show
Yes.
on radio on the weekends, but the best show on
Yes.
radio on the weekends.
Yes.
And we have with us some of the best guests you can have. D. Hodges, the president of the Maryland Taxpayers Association, because nobody else would want the job. And the Republican Women of Baltimore County.
Yes.
And we have Ed Hale, the
Yes.
president of some company.
Hale Transport.
It's an unusual name. Why did you pick
You know,
that?
I don't know. It just came to me one day.
Hale Transport and a future candidate for county council.
Yeah, he's
out
down-
in
he's
Baltimore
down
County.
above
We support
Sigurd.
Ed. We want him to win because he's a great guy. He's a true conservative. And if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. He's not
Yeah.
going to play games. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see somebody like that. Todd Crandall, the Democrat, is like that.
He's a Republican.
He's a Republican?
Yes.
When did he become a Republican?
He's been.
Todd Crandall. Ed Hale, let me tell you, Ed Hale and Todd Crandall would be a great pair
They
on the
would
county.
be. They would be.
Todd-
Todd's great.
Todd is great. I mean, he votes. He doesn't care if it's 6-1. He votes the right way. So he's a great guy, and we've had
He's
him.
a great guy.
We've got to get him
He's
back.
a great guy.
And we have Valerie McDONOUGh, the president of Times Media Network, which means she's basically my boss on this show and on television
And at home.
and at home and
And at home.
all these
Yeah.
other ventures. So that's why I treat her so well on the air.
I'm not going to say anything.
I sleep with one eye open at night.
Now, as I said, when she goes to sleep, it's over. I think if I didn't wake
But-
her up in the morning, it would be like a week later.
Truth of the matter is, he goes to bed before I do. I'm up watching ID and all these other channels, or reading, or working on a computer.
Yes, you're on that computer all the time, that's for sure. But you've got a lot of stuff to do. You have
Yeah.
a lot of work. People don't understand that. Super Citizen is the fastest growing conservative organization in the state of Maryland. Literally thousands of
It
people.
is.
And
It
it's
is.
getting bigger. And I'll tell you,
It's the best thing
The
you
best
two have ever done.
well, thank you. We appreciate it. It's a lot of work, Dave.
I thought the best thing he
It's
ever did
every
was
Mike.
only me.
Oh, yeah.
Got to remember that.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Mike Coleman. God love him. God love him.
one time when we were
Is
talking,
Mike going to play in the snow, maybe?
atmosphere now in
Maybe?
America, because people are angry and they're afraid, is really a perfect environment for Super Citizen. And we have noticed that just in the past month,
120.
with the president not winning re-election, we have noticed the responses that we're picking up on our directives and things that are going out, our outreach programs. And I want to remind people, go to, if you're interested in Super Citizen, and this thing is really firing up, go to supercitizenusa.com. That's our website. TV shows on there, including the first 8. What is that?
That's your website. I just pulled it. I just pulled it up.
We have we have all 35 of our TV shows on there, including the first 8 with the now world famous Kim Klacik on our television show. And you can hit the donate button. We can't win this battle, taking back America, with baked pie fundraisers. Okay?
Mine's in the mail.
No, you're already in, I think.
No,
No,
I
yes, you
I
are.
just mailed a new one.
Oh,
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. You keep having it. Yeah, because
Thank you very, very, very
To
much.
clarify, President Trump did win his re-election.
Well, if you want to be honest about things, right, and we can call Rick back. He's a truth teller.
And half the country thinks so too.
And they believe it and they know it because they know we are under attack. We're under control. You know, I tell this story a couple times. It was a couple months ago. I was standing on the parking lot around Gershbeck's, and a black guy comes up to me. I guess he was in his 50s. And he knew who I was. And he comes up and he says, "You know what, Pat? I don't know, people call me Pat. They never call me delegate. They never call me sir. They never call me your lordship. They call
right.
me Pat."
That's
which
right.
Is fine.
That's
I
right.
like that. Valerie said, "That's good.
That is
you're
good.
one of them, and
Yes,
they
it
like
is.
you. That's good." So he says, "Pat, you know, if Biden and that bunch wins, we're both going to be on the plantation. I said, yeah, we're going to be on the socialist plantation.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the plantation where there's no freedom, where we're like slaves. That's the plantation we're going to be on. And we're going to have to fight to get back on the freedom trail, because there's going to be plantation America and free America. And we have to make all of America free. Enough of the preaching.
By the way, there's a bill to set up a commission to give reparations to descendants of Maryland slaves.
Yes, I know. That's another bill. Reparations, and that'll get some votes. It might even pass. It might even pass. But we don't have any money left. That's the problem. Between Kerwin and the new taxes.
I can tell you right now.
I'm going to put you.
He's going to have to go and raise taxes. He's going to tell you he's not.
Well,
But we know. Well, it's actually the Democrats that are going to do it.
Not the governor. I mean,
It's the Democrats.
You're just covering the
I'm not a fan of Larry's. He's the Rhino governor, but he did not introduce any tax increases. I give him credit for that. So he held the line a little
But
bit.
he's taken from the rainy day fund too, isn't he?
Well, he has to because.
Well, because of this past year, I mean, that's understandable.
That's
though.
understandable.
That's what it's
happened-
for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You talk about a rainy day, we had a rainy year.
But not only that,
Thank you.
on that rainy day fund, let me tell you who is doing a very clever race for governor.
Peter Franchot.
Very clever. Peter Franchot came out with this idea of using $600 million of the rainy day fund to give every person in Maryland $2,000.
Isn't that like buying a boat?
Big time. You know what it's like though, Ed? It's like successfully buying a vote. Everybody, they did a poll.
That's true, baby.
Democrats and our great
That's
president
true, baby, mom.
blew Georgia.
So let's see what we got,
blew.
Mike. We got
81%
two Michaels
according
here.
to a Gallup poll of people live $2,000 from Mitch McConnell. And when he said no, our senators dropped 10 points.
Yep.
Okay? And so that was the end of that. But let me tell you, Peter Franchot made a smart move. Now, what was the one he came out with this week, Valerie? He came out with another one this week.
I didn't hear this.
Something really clever. I'll think of it. It'll come to me. So he's outmaneuvering his Democrat opponents and whoever becomes the Republican candidate. But here's the problem Peter Franchot has. Peter Franchot is more popular with Republicans than he is with Democrats.
He's going to have a tough time winning a primary.
The only way he can win a primary is if 2 or 3 libtards,
Johnny O.
and maybe somebody from Montgomery County,
Yeah, libtards.
and then he could win. And then I think it's going to be very difficult
they're out
for any
there.
Republican to win the governorship. Before we came back on the air, we were talking about that, and I guess we can mention that a little bit, right? In the normal Republican speak around the state, people are saying, "Oh well, Boyd Rutherford," because the governor likes Boyd Rutherford. He's the lieutenant governor.
Boy, Rutherford,
Boyd Rutherford's not going to run.
Coffee.
Boyd
What
Rutherford
happened to
doesn't
Matt? Come
want
on,
to
Pat,
run.
baby.
His
There
wife
he is.
doesn't want him to run.
There he is.
Governor Hogan wants him to run.
No.
He doesn't have one dime in his kit for raising money. Hogan has,
Get off it.
I think, $2 million in his campaign thing. Peter Franchot has $2 million. Johnny O has $1 million.
No, Johnny O just reported the other day, $1.8 million.
1.8 million. So, there you go. So people are taking him seriously on the Democrat side. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for any Democrat from the Baltimore region to win the U.S. Senate or the governorship, because all the votes are in the D.C. suburbs. But if the votes are split among the radicals and the liberals, somebody from the... I'd say to this day, and I believe it, Kevin Kamenetz would have been the nominee of the Democrat Party if he had not passed away, and he would have given Hogan a hell of a race.
Wow.
Because the Jewish vote in Montgomery and Baltimore City and County is huge, and Kamenetz could have raised $10 million without any trouble.
He would have been a much more formidable candidate than Ben Jealous, for
Well,
sure.
Ben Jealous was a wacko, and even the Democrats didn't vote for
And see,
him.
that was the other
Hey,
thing.
Walker!
He was so radical that people were afraid, and everybody says, oh, he's the highest rated governor. No, you have to look at who he ran against.
Mhm.
He's not the highest rated governor. He won overwhelmingly. No, not really. Look at what Ben Jealous did. And when
Ben Jealous were a radical,
yeah,
got 48% of the vote. I mean, he was a radical. So Kamenetz Kevin was a liberal, but very articulate. He had money, and he had a background, 8 years as county executive, and I think he would have been tough.
oh, I think,
And I
without a
think
doubt,
he would have attracted national Jewish money.
yes.
He would have had $10 million or more. And now Larry Hogan had $12 million. That's a pretty good haul. He raised a lot of money, and he needed that money. He spent it all.
Yeah.
Well, he's still raising money.
And he didn't have coattails, that's for sure.
He had no. In fact, he had the opposite. What is the opposite of coattails? I usually come up with this stuff, but
Yeah, it's like Trump supposedly lost, but how come more Republicans won?
all over the country.
And I think that even there were some Republicans, I think John James in Michigan probably won, and it was taken away from him. And then there's this person up in northern New York State.
They're still counting the votes. What's
Yes.
that about?
Yes,
She's
they are.
29. That's the way it's been for months.
Yeah, that needs to go to court. I probably is in court. I'm just assuming. But we won House seats all over the country. We took back House seats. We elected 14 women, new women, all conservatives, all firebrands, all children of recent immigrants from Cuba and from the Ukraine, all real life conservatives. We won the big battle in
I think Cuba's
California
calling Cuba.
on the racist constitutional amendment in California. We won
WCBM, the Pat Stone
57
Show?
to 43,
Who's calling
and it was
tonight?
won by the Asian community, the conservative Republican Asian community. We won and flipped legislative bodies all across the country. We now have 60 out of 99. We won local
Okay, and
council
what's your name?
and commission jobs all across the country.
Josephine.
So on CNN and MSNBC, they like to say, well, gee, the Republicans really took a beating. I'm afraid
And where are you
you're
calling from,
wrong.
Josephine?
The Republicans and the movement. Always remember, folks,
Right.
Donald Trump is
And
not about the
this is the right
Republican
to life.
Party. The people in the Republican Party who follow Donald Trump are not about the Republican
Okay, a little while ago
Party.
he wasn't taking calls,
This
but I'm
is
putting
a
you up there
movement.
because this is
This
the
is
last
a
half
Take
hour, and
Back
I believe he's
America
going to start
movement,
picking up the
and
phone.
he's our
So I'm
leader.
putting you up there, okay,
And that's
Josephine?
why we are committed and connected
And you're
to
welcome.
him.
Be safe in the
And the
snow.
other
and hold on.
side, which is the Destroy America mob, they don't get
That
it.
was Josephine.
They don't get it, and they keep pushing, and they keep pushing, and they keep pushing. At some point, and here's the big question, I'm going to do one entire show on this.
I gotta push them
The big
all.
question going across America now is, where
Ah!
do we go from here?
Where we go from here? That's right.
That's the $64,000 question.
Question.
There's a guy that was filling in for Rush last week, and he's out in Washington State. And he said, he basically said, where are we as Republicans? What are we doing? We're not doing, just like, when Trump became president, all these people screaming in the street, not my president, and going nuts. But yet,
Right.
Joe Biden gets into office. I don't want to say wins because he didn't win, but he gets into office, and we just kind of go, yep, okay. What are we going to do about it? Nothing.
And there's a lot more to that. You see, it's how you look at things. It's how you visualize concepts. I'll give you an example. I've come up with the term called power systems. Every nation is a nation because it is controlled by a power system. To give you an example, during the First Revolution, the American colonies were controlled by the power system of the King of England and the Great British Empire. That was the power
How do you like
system.
that?
We, as subjects, knew in order to become citizens, we had to defeat that power system.
Yes, yes, yes.
During the 1930s in Germany, the power system was the Nazi Party.
Yes, it was.
It took the Second World War
Yes,
to
it was.
defeat that power system.
Yes, it was.
So, all of us sitting here in this room We are American citizens,
Yes.
and we live in America.
Yes.
But what is the power system in America? The power system in America is
George
the Democrats.
Soros?
Well, it's the Democrat Party. It's education, what we've been talking about.
2 minutes.
It's the media. It's big tech. It's big corporations. It's the cultural entertainment system. Now, I'm going
Right.
to ask you all a question. What part of that power system do we control?
That's a good
Nothing.
one.
None of it. None of it.
That's right.
So the power system that controls America, the nation itself now, the power system is always the nation, okay? We don't control it. We don't own it. We live here. We're citizens. We vote. So what does that mean? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is, since they control the power system, they have taken over America. We have lost it. We have lost it, and we have to take it back. It's not saving it anymore. 3 months ago, I thought saving it. No, we got to take it back.
Yes,
The question
we
is,
do.
when we ask the question, where do we go from here? That's the question. The question is, we got to take it back. But where do we go from here is, what do we do? See, we're looking at this thing as a battle between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party and all the bad guys against Trump. That's not what this is. And we cannot be successful by answering that question,
Can't be
where do we go from
successful,
here, unless we
zero.
understand what kind of battle we are not in a battle about the Republican Party. We are in a battle about America. We have to take back
Yes.
all of those systems. So that means at some point in time, I mean, I don't hear Sean Hannity, although I hear him hinting at it. I don't hear Rush Limbaugh, but he's strongly starting to hint at it even more, saying what I just said. And maybe people are hearing this viewpoint for the first time. And I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, you know what? He's right. What he just said is right. So what I'm saying, bottom line, we have got to have some kind of summit meeting. We've got to have some kind of unification movement like the civil rights movement, where all of the elements, the Republican Party, the conservative Democrats,
Yes.
the conservative media, whatever there is of it,
Not much.
all the people have to come together and understand what we're fighting.
Yep.
And then we have to develop a strategy and an agenda against that beast.
Yes. Yes.
Beast is an understatement.
Okay, well,
Bomb the voting machines.
bomb the voting machine. Well, you know, if there was just like, okay, so this allegedly the Trump voters, we know they weren't the Trump voters, that became insurrectionists and destroyed the Capitol, right? That weren't Trump voters. We know who they were, okay? But, you know, Grandma visited her nation's capital to see her president that she loved, waved her little flag, had to stand for 3 hours, couldn't find a potty, and when she
At
came
all.
home, she found and then she was an insurrectionist, right? I mean, that's the real Trump voter. But in that case,
In that case.
I ask this question: where is it in America that we can go to, and we can say, okay, strangle, I don't mean really strangle, but get rid of Joe Biden, and we, through elections and the Republican Party, we can win in 22 and take back the House, and those are all important steps. But if we do all that, we still don't own the media.
Exactly. The court of public opinion is stacked against us.
Yes, and we've got to find out how we can do that.
Yeah.
So the problem we have is there's not some little office building somewhere where there are 5 evil men sitting in the building
Oh.
manipulating big tech, big
tech.
corp, media, these 5 little monsters, and we can't go in and just strangle them and get rid of everything.
Just a laser-guided missile, and you could do it from right here in the
If that
studio.
was the case, but that's not the case, so it's a very tough job.
Yep.
Anyway, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Now, we have to.
The next winter storm coming our way, we could be in for bouts of heavy snowfall. A winter storm warning in effect from 4 a.m. Sunday until 6 a.m. Tuesday. Total snow amounts of 6 to 12 inches possible.
Oh man, it's crazy. I hope everybody's ready for this snow. I'm not because I don't like snow. I'm a summer guy. I'm freaking, you know. Give me a grill. All right, give me some nice sun. Give me Betty Boot, you know, and that's sun. Sunday.
Todd Bork with it. Talk Radio.
Nothing else. Nothing else. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing.
Jeff's Automotive Services.
I mean, there are other things, but you know what I mean. I just don't like it's cold weather.
Certified technicians.
But
Jeff services all
the topic subject matter tonight is very heavy. It's always a good show. This is the second hour power, and we got what 15 minutes left, really. And I'm surprised that this program did not cut off already here from the cocksuckers that run this set. No, I mean, you know, thank you so much for letting us air what we can.
2019 by the Avenue Newspapers Readers Poll. Jeff's offers 10% discounts to all seniors and active military members.
Anyways.
We'd like to thank our military members for their service. Jeff's Automotive Services has a name you can trust. Remember, call 410-682.
I wonder if you're going to take these callers.
Jeff's Automotive
Hey, Moses.
Services.
I'm gonna go. Let's go in and mess with Pat Watch.
Every day, Doctors Without Borders teams confront hard facts in conflict and crisis zones. When others might look away, we step in to act. Because measles still kills more than 100,000 children every year. We're there to vaccinate over 1 million worldwide, including those affected by the current outbreak in Democratic Republic of Congo. Because half of all maternal deaths occur during delivery or within 24 hours. We've assisted more than 1.4 million births around the world. Care for new mothers in Afghanistan. Because some countries only have 1 or 2 mental health professionals. We offer counseling and clinical care, providing over 400,000 mental consultations worldwide last year, including care for migrants and refugees on the dangerous journey north from Central America. The fact is, your acts of care and compassion make our life-saving work possible. Picture the impact we can have together. DoctorsWithoutBorders.org.
While I was lying in an army hospital in Germany, my parents got a letter that said I had 48 hours to live. They even sent a flag.
I told them I would like a pepperoni cheese pizza, thin crust, well done. Side order of Cajun fries.
Brain injury. When I got home, I fought depression.
Oh, I can't say because
anxiety,
Betsy
and alcohol.
Gucci will flip it now.
BAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
With DAV's help, my world changed 100%. I was able to build a new life for myself.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
I'm Adam Greathouse, Army veteran.
But there are more victories to be won.
My victory is just feeling alive and experiencing life.
Right.
Greathouse, thank you for your service. And your victories inspire many more. Support more victories.
Now I'm going to keep my eye out on Tom Moore. Tom Moore's going to come in next, but that's where I got this. Turn off.
It's Baltimore's #1 marketplace, Radio Flea Market with Jay Harris, Sunday mornings from 7
Yeah,
until
keep it up.
8 p.m. Exclusively on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life.
I'm gonna leave it on today.
Everyday practical conversations that you will actually use in 15 minutes a day.
I was at the pier this morning working. Made a half day. Then after that,
makes language engaging, fun.
I come home and battle these freaking cricket people that I'm changing services, right? Those sons of bitches, they have me. I just paid the bill right there. They saved $35. I got a better deal, better cellular company. You know what I mean? And they want me to go out and get another cricket card, the Zim card, whatever the thing is, put in there, and pay $30 to turn my phone on because it was off. I had this like Zim pin. They locked my phone. I'm gonna take a baseball bat and I felt like smashing him in the cheeks if I found him. But hey, I had to do what I had to do. I mean, I gotta have my phone, and it's one company. It's a good one.
When others might look away,
It's just been the whole thing. Yeah, I figured I'd get a couple hours sleep. 0. And today's the day that I came a couple hours early. Usually I come in to start 8 o'clock with Pat. But today I came in at 6, so I'll get off 6 tomorrow. So that's 12.5 hours. Well, I need it. Got a lot of things going on. And that's good. Thank you, God, for job. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my job.
Around the world, including care for new mothers in
Both of them. That's right, there's others. But I can't say what that is.
Mental health professionals. We offer counseling and clinical care, providing over 400,000 mental health consultations worldwide
Here we
last
go.
year, including care for migrants and refugees on the dangerous journey north from Central
Hold
America.
on.
The fact is, your acts of care and compassion make our life-saving work possible. Picture the impact we can have together.
Hold on.
DoctorsWithoutBorders.org.
Here we go. The last 10 minutes, guys. Let's go.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We've had a good show tonight. A lot of issues, a lot of discussion, a lot of things. We haven't taken any calls because on some shows we really need to get the issues out to people. People want to hear about, like from Delegate Impalaria, inside information.
Right.
And D, with her expertise on what's going on in the legislature and all the volunteer work, tremendous work.
All
she
the good
does.
stuff.
She doesn't get
All
paid
the
for
good
this.
stuff. No.
You know, sometimes I wonder about it. And I have papers all over my house.
Ed will take it.
I'm a widow. I live by
That's a
myself.
purpose.
Absolutely.
I got a bed.
And of course we have Ed with us tonight because he had nothing else to do.
Ed Hale. From Hale's Transport, am I correct?
That's right.
Yes, and he ate tortellini tonight.
And I was just telling these guys that, my dad, as somebody came up to him a couple of years ago and said, "Hey, didn't you used to be Ed Hale?" So after I ran for office this past time, I became Ed Hale. And he's
nothing now.
He's the artist formerly known as
Ed
Hale.
well, first, your dad has been around forever, and he has done so many different things. He's he's a typical free enterprise type guy. Nobody gave him anything. He went out, created a lot of. He was in the banking business. He didn't create, as you pointed out, the Baltimore Blast, very exciting thing. He's done a lot of things. So you have a good name. You're tearing it down, of course, but you've had a good name.
I have knocked it down a few pegs, but it's still above water.
No, you're doing a good job. But anyway, we'll take a few callers. We have a few minutes left, and these folks, and they may not even be on the line anymore. I don't know, but we'll talk to Josephine, who is in Pasadena. Josephine, good evening. No, Josephine's calling somebody. She's calling Rick.
Here, let me pick up the phone. Hello.
And Mark, my God, Mark's been on for 3 days. Mark, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Shabuto. The reason why I'm calling tonight is in reference about the Hyde Amendment. As you probably remember, 2 Fridays ago, the 22nd of January, was the 40th anniversary of the infamous Roe versus Wade decision issued by the Supreme Court, the most horrific decision in the court's history.
Thank you.
Yesterday, they were supposed to have had, on a smaller scale,
This is good.
Pandemic, they were supposed to have a smaller march down in Washington, and the rest of it was on computer. Do you know how many people were in attendance at the march?
This is a March for Life out in Washington, which was very limited. Last year it was tremendous because President Trump was there, of course, but it was tremendous. No, we don't know, Mark. You tell us.
I don't know, because number one, I was told this information. I don't have a computer. I have no idea if it was anything on computer. Remember, I'm the phone man, not the computer man, so I don't know that. But they did try to make it halfway. It was going to be very limited, no real wide-scale advertising or anything like that.
Yeah, try low-key.
Yep. Yeah, right. But the thing that hurts me the most is someone who supposedly, as a Roman Catholic, supposedly, with a stroke of a pen, decided to get rid of the Hyde Amendment. I know you're a Roman Catholic.
No, I'm not a Roman Catholic.
You're not. Well, whoever's a Roman Catholic, can you tell me how you can get someone disbarred, or the best word is excommunicated? I know they tried that in...
Well, I can tell you this, having been a Catholic and taught by the Jesuits of all people. That was an experience. But anyway, Mark, the other thing about that is Joe Biden supported the Hyde Amendment for 40 years. He supported the Hyde Amendment. And then running for president, he
very true.
The bus, flushed it down the toilet. That's the kind of guy, that's the morality and character of Joe Biden to try to get elected. So one time, now Joe has lived in Wilmington for a long time, and there was a bishop in Wilmington about 20 years ago who refused to give communion to Joe Biden because of positions he was taking, even though he supported the Hyde Amendment. And that something happened to that bishop. He or whatever.
I think they introduced him to Hillary Clinton.
Yes, but anyway, the National Bishops Conference, the Cardinals, everybody's silent, everybody's quiet.
Yeah, where is the outrage by your hierarchy of starting from Rome down because of the hierarchical structure?
Well,
you all saving pro-life.
Well, you got to understand, Mark, that there are non-Catholics like Christians and evangelicals. There are Jewish people who are opposed to abortion, many of them, and so the Democrats and the radicals get away with so much. But that is a big issue. And as was pointed out earlier in the show, there are a lot of people in Maryland who are pro-life, especially women. A lot of women who are pro-life in Maryland. And there you have the Republicans in the caucus that Delegate Ippolito was pointing out, where two leaders of the Republican caucus shot down, and I guess you could say blocked, right, a pro-life amendment or motion. So there you go. Goes on both sides. Anyway, thank you, Mark, appreciate the information about the March for Life in Washington.
Man, thank you so much for that.
We were talking earlier, Dee, about the voting bills and how bad these things are.
They want to take total control over the vote. And one of the big things is in Maryland, we don't have a signature check and we don't have voter ID. So we don't have that in person. So in the discussion at the time I was testifying, they were, the left, the Democrats, were pointing out that if we don't have it in person, then why should we have it with mail-in ballots? So...
Like there's no difference.
Right.
Well, Jimmy Carter and James Baker, the famous chief of staff for Ronald Reagan, were the heads of a commission, the Carter-Baker Commission, during the Obama administration in 2006. Now, the commission did not do any investigation of fraud in elections and that sort of thing. They reviewed election processes across the country, and they came to two conclusions. They came to a lot of conclusions. It was a pretty good commission, but nobody ever did anything about it. But two of the conclusions they came to was, and this is President Jimmy Carter, a Democrat, they said that mail-in ballot voting is the worst and most dangerous type of voting possible. And they said
I could have said that better.
Harvesting, which was legal in California at the time, they said that
it's legal now.
Yeah, it was also legal then. Harvesting should be banned legally in America. Now, this was Jimmy Carter coming to that conclusion. Nothing was ever voted on, nothing was ever done about it. But in Maryland is a deep blue radical left state. I'm telling I love it. Sometimes I see people and they say, Maryland, it's getting as bad as at Massachusetts, and it's getting bad as New. I say, excuse me, my friends. Maryland passed Massachusetts and New York 10 years ago.
Yeah, we are the California of the East.
I believe it was Maryland who first proposed the compact for a national popular vote.
Oh, yes, it was.
So we have had an occasion or two in which Marylanders voted for a Republican for president. But if the national popular vote had been for the Democrat, the Maryland vote would have been axed.
Yeah.
Maryland, I believe, was the first state to do that compact. I hope it doesn't go any further.
Well, it's moving along, actually. Benjamin Franklin, during the Constitutional Convention, there was a debate on the Electoral College. And Benjamin Franklin, who was well respected, he was the oldest man at the convention, and he told that if you get rid of or don't pass the Electoral College, I will become the first president of the United States.
2 minutes heartbreak.
And he said the worst thing in the world is to have me as the first president of the United States
WCBN
because we
we're not going to get involved.
General Washington to be our first president.
Okay.
He said, but if you don't have the Electoral College, Philadelphia is the biggest city in America.
I'm sorry.
And I can win the presidential office on the votes from Philadelphia alone.
Yeah.
And what's like
So this is not a good idea. Now, I don't know if that won the entire debate, but it impressed people because it was clear.
We
that
got two
could
Michaels
happen.
and two.
He had no desire to be president.
But you're the real one.
He was making the point that the big cities and the big villages and the
No,
big towns
there was another
decide the
pronunciation.
presidency. Remember,
But it was similar
years ago,
But
the
you're the real.
Democrats wanted
I'll pick you
to
all.
dissolve the Electoral College.
You just hold on.
because
After the
Hillary
news, I got you
didn't
covered on the slot.
win. And now
My pleasure.
Joe Biden, somehow or another, with all these
All
votes,
right.
he gets more than the 270. Now they're happy with the Electoral
Forget me,
College.
go.
Not for long, though. Yeah. They look at the Democrat radicals are. I got to tell you, if I was going to write a book about the Democrat radicals, the socialists, and the mob that wants to destroy this country, the title of the book would be Brilliant. That would be brilliant. These people are brilliant. They are relentless.
40 seconds.
They know what they have to do. And we are taking a knife to a gunfight, honestly.
Yeah.
And we have got to get that gunfight on a level playing field if we want to take this country back. That's my opinion. And, you know, if I said this 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, basically people would say, you're a conspiracy person. No, sometimes there's conspiracy realities that you got to think about. Anyway, thank you guys for being on. Great show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And always remember, truth and knowledge guarantee liberty. Keep the faith. Keep punching.
Stay connected with stimulating talk and breaking news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore.
Thank you much. See you next week. Take it easy. For those who know, Ron Savage, my phone's back on. It's a whole other story. Take it easy, and watch out for the snow. I know it sucks, but that's okay. Make alcoholic cocoa. Thanks.